In a dramatic and emotionally charged debate, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris exchanged powerful remarks that left the audience buzzing. Trump, known for his aggressive style, didn't hold back when it came to questioning Harris' policies, particularly on her plans for the future of the United States. Trump alleged that Harris had no concrete plans of her own and had merely copied Joe Biden's plan, positioning her as someone who lacked original ideas or leadership. This accusation played into a broader narrative Trump has often used, painting his opponents as weak or lacking vision, and it drew strong reactions from the crowd. Trump's immigration claims. One of the most controversial moments in the debate came when Trump, addressing the issue of immigration, made a shocking claim. In Springfield, the immigrants are eating the dogs and cats. This statement quickly went viral but was later proven to be unfounded. The police in Springfield clarified that there was no evidence to support this rumor, which originally surfaced in a local social media group and spread through various unverified sources. Trump's use of this inflammatory language underscored his hardline stance on immigration. Throughout his presidency and in subsequent campaigns, Trump has often used vivid, sometimes exaggerated language to depict immigration as a threat to American safety and culture. In this debate, he continued to push this narrative, likely aiming to rally his base by evoking fear and urgency. However, the fact that his claim was debunked didn't stop it from becoming a focal point of conversation, showcasing the power of such statements in the digital age. Harris' gun ownership declaration. Kamala Harris, in response, struck a different tone, emphasizing her connection with everyday Americans by revealing, "We are gun owners, both me and Walls." This declaration was particularly surprising, given that Harris, as a Democrat, has been associated with calls for gun control. By aligning herself with gun ownership, she aimed to appeal to moderates and conservatives who might be skeptical of the Democratic stance on the Second Amendment. This move was strategic. While many Democrats have pushed for stricter gun laws, Harris' statement signaled that she understands the importance of gun ownership to many Americans. It was an attempt to bridge the divide on the polarizing issue of gun rights, presenting herself as someone who supports responsible gun ownership while still advocating for reforms to reduce gun violence. This statement not only humanized her but also set the stage for her to tackle broader issues of public safety and security, areas where she and her running mate, Tim Walz, have put forth plans to ensure both rights and protections are respected. Trump's criticism of Harris' plans as the debate progressed. Trump ramped up his attacks on Harris, accusing her of having no original plans for the country's future. He claimed, "Kamala has no plans, she just copied Joe Biden's plan." This jab was intended to frame Harris as a follower rather than a leader, someone who lacks the innovation and initiative to lead the nation. Trump's critique played into a broader theme of his campaign, where he often accuses the Biden administration and its allies of weak leadership and ineffective policies. Trump specifically attacked Harris on key issues like inflation, crime, and healthcare. He argued that under the Biden-Harris administration, inflation had skyrocketed to record levels and that Harris had done nothing to present a viable solution. In contrast, Trump claimed that during his presidency, the economy was thriving, and inflation was under control. He framed Harris' plans as mere extensions of Biden's policies, which he labeled as failures. Furthermore, Trump accused Harris of inconsistency when it came to crime and policing. He referenced past statements where she supported redirecting funds from police departments to community programs, a position that has been controversial, especially among conservatives. Trump argued that Harris' stance on policing was hypocritical, given her recent statements about gun ownership and public safety. This line of attack was designed to paint Harris as untrustworthy and inconsistent, undermining her credibility as a leader. Harris' response. Kamala Harris, however, was prepared for these criticisms. She addressed Trump's accusations head-on, defending her record and that of the Biden administration. Harris highlighted the economic recovery that had taken place since the COVID-19 pandemic, noting that inflation had indeed been high but was now under control, with rates significantly lower than they had been during the pandemic's peak. She emphasized the importance of the administration's efforts to stabilize the economy and support American families, pointing to recent data showing that inflation had dropped to 2.9% in July 2024. On crime and policing, Harris clarified her position, explaining that she supports reimagining public safety, not defunding the police. She reiterated her belief that police reform is necessary to ensure fairness and justice for all Americans, but she also acknowledged the essential role that law enforcement plays in maintaining safety. By declaring herself a gun owner, Harris aimed to show that she understands the complexities of public safety and the balance between individual rights and collective security. The emotional impact of the debate. This debate was not just a clash of policies. It was a deeply emotional and polarizing event. Trump's incendiary comments on immigration, combined with his sharp criticism of Harris, set a combative tone that resonated with his supporters but alienated others. His bold claims, particularly about immigrants in Springfield, played into fears and anxieties about cultural change and national security. Meanwhile, Harris' responses, especially her declaration about gun ownership, were seen by many as an attempt to strike a balance between progressive ideals and mainstream values. For voters, this debate highlighted the stark differences between the two candidates. Trump positioned himself as a strong, decisive leader with a clear vision for America's future, while Harris emphasized empathy, inclusivity, and thoughtful reform. Both candidates appealed to different emotional currents within the electorate, Trump's rhetoric fueled by anger and fear, and Harris by hope and pragmatism. As the debate ended, it was clear that these viral moments, Trump's shocking statements about immigrants and Harris' bold declaration of gun ownership, would dominate the news cycle for days to come. These moments encapsulated the larger issues at play in the 2024 election, making it a deeply emotional and contentious race. Conclusion: the Trump-Harris debate was filled with emotional highs and lows, marked by sharp criticisms and viral soundbites. Trump's claims that Harris lacked her own plans and merely followed Biden's lead added fuel to an already tense political atmosphere. Meanwhile, Harris' attempt to balance gun rights with public safety, and her defense of her administration's economic policies, underscored her efforts to connect with a broad swath of voters. Ultimately, this debate was not just a contest of ideas but a reflection of the deep emotional divides that define the 2024 election.